Hello guys, how are you doing? So in this video, we're going to look at solving linear equations. Alright, so when we're talking about linear equations, we're talking about an equation that contains only one variable and the highest power of that variable is 1. Okay, so that is what we call a linear equation. So I want us to look at a few techniques that we're going to be using or that you can actually use. So technique number 1, right? So let's say we have 4 minus 3x is equal to 2. Okay, so this is a linear equation. Look at the variable x, it has got a power of 1. All right, so if the x term is negative, as we have right here, our x term is negative, it is minus 3x. Okay, so if it is negative, we add an x term with a positive coefficient to both sides of the equation. All right, so what we're going to do in this example, we're going to add plus 3x to both sides. All right, so when you do that, we end up with 4, right? So we have minus 3x. Remember, we're adding plus 3x plus 3x is equal to 2 plus 3x. We're adding 3x to both sides. Now that we have added 3x on both sides, we are going to have 0 on the left side. So we're only going to remain with 4 is equal to 2 plus 3x. Okay, so now for us to then remain with 3x this side, we are going to subtract 2 from both sides. Okay, subtract 2 from both sides. And when we do that, we remain with 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 plus 3x plus minus 3x minus 2. So these 2 minus 2 becomes 0. And then 4 minus 2 becomes 2. And remember 2 is equal to 3x. Now that we have done this, our next step would be to divide both sides by 3 in order for us to remain with x. So you divide both sides by 3 and we remain with x is equal to 2 over 3. That is how we solve linear equations. So this is technique number 1. Okay, now I'm going to look at technique number 2. All right, so let's say we have 2x minus 7 is equal to 5 minus 3x. All right, so you can see that we have x terms on both sides. Okay, so we have an x term on the left and we have an x term on the right. So what we're going to do in this second technique, we're going to collect like terms together and then we will simplify. All right, so we're going to say 2x. When we take 3x to the other side, the negative sign, this negative sign here, it changes to a positive sign when we take it to the side, right? So we have 2x plus 3x is equal to 5. Similarly, when we take minus 7 to the other side, right? When you take minus 7 to the side, it becomes a positive 7. So we end up with 5 plus 7. All right, so solving this, we have 5x is equal to 12. Now that we have 5x on this side, we divide both sides, okay? We're going to divide both sides by 5 in order for us to remain with x. So you divide by 5, divide by 5. And what we have left with is x is equal to 12 over 5, which is the same as 2 and 2/5. Okay, and then moving on to the third technique. All right, so the third technique deals with fractions, right? So if there is a fraction in the x term, we multiply out to simplify the equation. So let's say we were given 2x, right? Let's say we have 2x over 3 is equal to 10, right? Remember, I said if we have a fraction, we multiply out to simplify the equation. So what we're going to do, the first step, is to multiply both sides. Multiply both sides by 3. Okay, so we multiply this side by 3, and we also multiply this side by 3. Remember, what you do on the left, you also do on the right. And if we do that, we end up, this 3 cancels out with this 3, and then 10 times 3 becomes 30. So we end up with 2x is equal to 30. Now that we have 2x on this side, we want to remain with x. We divide both sides by 2. Okay, divide both sides by 2, so you have it like this, and we end up with x is equal to 30 divided by 2 is 15. Okay, so this is our answer. So those are the 3 techniques that we will be using to solve our linear equations. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of examples. Right, going to do a couple of examples. I'll start off with this one. So we have 3x minus 7 is equal to 20. So this is simple. What you want to remain with is 3x on the left side, and we have 20 plus 7 on the other side, because remember, we are collecting like terms, right? So we end up with 3x is equal to 20. And also remember, when we move minus 7 to the side, it becomes plus 7, right? So it becomes 20 plus 7. So 3x is equal to 27. We want to remain with x, so we're going to divide both sides by 3. And then we remain with x is equal to 9. Okay, that is how we do the first example. And then example number 2, we have minus 7 is equal to 2x minus 10. Again, we're going to collect like terms together. So we bring 10 to the left side, and what we have is 10 minus 7 is equal to 2x. 10 minus 7 is 3 is equal to 2x. And to remain with x, right, we're going to divide both sides by 2. Okay, so we have x is equal to 3 over 2. That is our final answer. Okay, so now let's do example number 3. We have a fraction, 3x over 2 is equal to 5. And remember, from our techniques, we said if we have a fraction, we multiply by 2. So it's the same as saying we're going to multiply the side by 2, and we're also going to multiply the side by 2. Okay, so this 2 and this 2, they cancel each other, and we're left with 3x is equal to 5 times 2, that is 10. And then want to remain with x, so we divide both sides by 3. And we end up with x is equal to 10 over 3, which is the same as 3 and a third. That is our answer. Okay, number 4, we have x over 2 plus 7 is equal to 12. We have a fraction of a whole number and another whole number. So we can start off by actually moving like terms together. This is x over 2. X over 2 is the same as, say, 1 over 2x, right? So we have an x term here. So we're going to move 7 to the other side, and we remain with x over 2 is equal to 12 minus 7. Okay, so if x over 2 is equal to 12 minus 7 gives us 5. Right, so now since we have a fraction, remember, we're going to multiply both sides by 2 over 1, multiply the side by 2 over 1 as well. So the 2 and the 2 will cancel each other, and we're left with x is equal to 5 times 2 gives us 10. That is our answer. And then example number 5, we have 5x over 6 is equal to 1 over 4. Okay, So a simple trick that we can use when we have fractions on both sides, right? We simply cross multiply, okay? Cross multiply. This is the simplest way to solve fractions like this, okay? So if we cross multiply, that means 4 multiplies 5x, and then 1 multiplies 6. So 4 times 5, that's 20x, is equal to 6 times 1 is 6. Then we divide both sides by 20. Okay? When we divide both sides by 20, we have x is equal to 6 over 20. Now we're going to simplify this. So we divide 6 and 20 by 2, and we're left with 3 over 10, because we're dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 2. So our final answer is 3 over 10. Okay, let's do another example. We have a minus 3 is equal to 3a minus 7. So we're going to group like terms together. Okay, so we take 7 to this side and we take a to the other side. The reason why I'm taking 7 to the left side and I am taking a to the other side is because if I do that, then I'm going to remain with positive numbers. So you can move either to the other side, but the ultimate goal is to remain with positive numbers wherever it is possible. Okay, so that is why I'm moving a, because the bigger number 3a is on the right side, and then 7, if I move it to the right side, becomes to the left side, becomes the bigger number. So it would then give me a positive. So I have 7 minus 3 is equal to 3a minus a. All right, 7 minus 3, that is 4, is equal to 3a minus 2a, that is 2a. So I divide both sides by 2, and the answer becomes a is equal to 2. So that is how you deal with linear equations, okay? So just take note of the 3 techniques that we used first. They will always help you in solving linear equations. See you in the next video, guys.